Hi there, it's Sarah from Inspire Tarot. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's reading we have the Six of Emotions, the Chariot and the Knight of Emotions. And the Emotions cards, also the Cups cards, are to do with creativity, relationships and love. So yeah, I think in today's card what's really coming up for me is integrating the shadow, integrating the light parts of the shadow. Things from our childhood that we were taught were unacceptable. So when we're born, we kind of have all these innate abilities and strengths and desires. And quite often we can be born to people to our parents who don't really understand our inner drive. Parents who think that we're just a blank slate that they can raise as they wish. And quite often what happens is we end up noticing over time that aspects of ourselves are unacceptable. So if you're from a family where people are very sensible and they follow the rules, and you're a particularly creative person, then you may find that aspects of your creativity seem to frighten people, or your desire to colour outside the lines can freak people out, especially if you have a big vision and they can't see what it is that you see. And then they would just consider you as being a space cadet and having your head in the clouds, which can really undermine your self-esteem if you take these things to heart. For example, if you were very creative and your mum made you, for example, an assault course or something out of different objects, and you played with the assault course and you went through it a couple of times, and then you felt bored and thought, I'm going to change this now, I'm going to improve it, I'm going to get creative, and then that drive to change and improve something was met with being told that you were naughty, then you automatically, and if this pattern repeats over and over, then you really start to think that, what I desire inside is actually bad. And the creative aspect, which we all love to create, because when we create, we feel very much in flow. We feel aligned with our higher self. And I love creativity, I love creative expression. But if our creative offerings and things seem to upset the people we live with, then we can shove them into the shadow. We can start to feel as though they're bad. We start to feel guilty about being creative. And then we fall into the trap of, can't you just get a normal job? Can't you just get stability? Because creativity can come in, ebb and flow, particularly as we go through times of healing. Life is all about ebb and flow, and our creativity can be affected. But I also think that any emotions can be expressed creatively. There's many poets and songwriters and various different types of people who write about sad and difficult things, and we kind of need all aspects of life. I think there's this fear of exposing our shadows and our darkness, but really it's the authentic thing to do, to just let things flow. So yeah, I specifically want to talk today about the light shadows, so the aspects of ourselves that are actually authentic and good but were considered bad when we were younger. So yeah, you may feel like you want to do a creative project, but you also feel as if you have these limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And despite your efforts to do something, you may experience feelings of futility. So I think over time, things always improve. We don't really feel as if things are improving, and resistance can make us feel as if we're going nowhere. But resistance is really about progress and growth. It's that inner resistance that really pushes us to grow. That feeling of, I feel so uncomfortable emotionally, I can't stay here. So yeah, it's a wonderful motivator, that resistance. It can feel very uncomfortable to be in, but actually it's a very necessary part of the evolution process. So what I tend to do is, if I feel blocked with something, then I will talk to the spirit about it. So you don't have to call it the spirit, you can call it your right mind or your higher self or God or anything you want to, or your angels, anything that relates to you that you like to feel that you would ask for higher guidance. And I think the thing that I notice the most about healing is that it's not linear. And when we ask to be healed from our distorted perception, we kind of don't really know what we're asking for, or the spirit will know that we're asking for something, but we're not really asking for what we want. And spirit will have a deeper understanding of what it is that we really truly want, in that we really truly want to return to our unified state, to a state where we can be completely authentic, completely ourselves, where our for example, where we're in, I think the word is congruence, where everything that we think and say and do are all in alignment. So there's no hiding and no avoidance. There's no dishonesty. There's just complete authentic expression. And life is wonderful when we're like that, because there's no procrastination. There's no thinking, oh, I want to do this, but I can't do this because of fear of consequences. Or quite often we just fear our own uncomfortable feelings. I know this has been a big part of my journey, where I felt like I wanted to do something, but then obviously once you start trying to do something that you want, then all your unconscious fears, all your limiting beliefs, everything is going to come up. And quite often what happens with people is that they just think, oh, I can't cope with this feeling, I can't move past this, and then just end up giving up, maybe sticking in a predictable job where they feel unfulfilled and exhausted, working 9 till 5, coming home from work and just feeling dead inside. But it can seem so difficult to love ourselves enough, and to face the darkness, to really go for the things that we want. Because creative projects, they're so fulfilling, they really do light us up so much. But we do need to integrate the parts of ourselves that we've rejected, that block our progress, and our things that we actually do come from what we think. So if we try and do something when we have thoughts and beliefs that run counter to what we want to do, then we just get stuck and we just self-frustrate and go around in circles, and then quite often what happens is we tend to give up. So yeah, I would suggest really on this journey that we just need to keep going. We need to accept that we are always learning, we're always growing. We have to be very comfortable with looking stupid, with making mistakes publicly. And the less we care about external validation, the easier this is. So if, for example, you're trying to do something and it goes wrong and you feel humiliated, you have to remember that humiliation is really coming from within. It's often reflected without, but it's really coming from within. So if someone reflects back to us that we're, a failure or an idiot, and we take it to heart, then they're simply reflecting our own beliefs. And we could really look at them and think, oh yeah, rather than taking what someone said negatively and feeling ashamed, we can just look at what somebody said to us and think, oh, this is just feedback for me. This is just showing me that I feel like I'm not good enough, or I feel like I'm a joke, and I kind of want to run and hide, or the ego wants me to run and hide, but the spirit is always encouraging me to push forward and not be upset. So yeah, the less we care about external validation, and the more we just use the external world for feedback, the more we can cope with our uncomfortable emotions, the more progress we can make. So I think a good thing you can do is write down, if you specifically want to do a creative project and you feel like you've got lots of blocks, write down all the things that you feel are blocking you, all the things that are upsetting you, and then ask your higher self or the spirit to help you break through these. And what will happen is information will come in the way of symbols. Maybe you'll hear a song that will give you the information you need, or you'll see a sign, or you'll see a video or something on the internet, or someone will directly give you the information you need, or say something inspirational to you, and you'll recognize that it's for you, because the spirit can use the whole of the external world to give us the messages that we need all the time. And it's really just being attuned to where the messages are coming from. I think quite often what happens is someone will say something and then we'll take offense, and then really afterwards, with hindsight, we'll realize, oh, that was super helpful. That person said something to me that was helpful, and I felt like it was a personal attack at the time, but actually they were helping me. So yeah, I really do feel as though we can all move forwards. We just have to be able to cope with these uncomfortable feelings. But we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to grow. You see so many people that on their deathbed say, oh, I wish I'd been braver. I wish I'd loved people more. I wish I'd been more creative. I wish I'd followed my dreams. So, yeah, it's not too late to do it. And I really just think that go for it. Go for it. Inch forward a bit at a time. Keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. And if you need to take a break, then take a break. And if someone says something that upsets you, then we need to be comforting ourselves internally. We don't need anybody else's validation. If something matters to us, then we should really go for it. Right. I hope this reading has helped. I love you all. Bye.